It's not really morning anymore, it is noon. And hello and welcome, or welcome back to my channel. If I'm a new face to you, my name is Lauren, and I'm gonna assume that by you clicking on this video, you are a Sarah J. Maas fan, you're a fan of Throne of Glass, and or you are currently reading through the series. Because this is my part one of reading through Sarah J. Maas, and I don't know how many books of hers I'm going to be reading in this vlog. I have broken it up so it's in many parts. It needs to be many parts long or it's going to be like 5 hours long, and I'm not doing that. So this is part one of my Sarah J. Maas reading vlog series, where I reread Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, and then I will be reading Crescent City. I've read the first two books, but not the third. And the third is, from what I think, connects all three of these series. I didn't really have any intention of starting this vlog today, but I decided better late than never. What am I doing? Well, I have kind of figured out I can do about 100 to 200 pages a day of reading. I will be working in audiobooks with that as they are made available to me, so fingers crossed. And I have all of the books. I have every single book in physical format, and then I have all of them in ebook format too, except for the last Crescent City, but I can get on that later. What I'm going to be doing right now is taking those page numbers and putting them into chapters. Like, what chapter do I need to be in of Throne of Glass? So if I'm reading on my ebook, I have like a stopping point as well. So I'm doing that. So this isn't gonna be fun to watch, I'm sure, but whatever. I need to clean off my coffee table here in my library so we can do this and do it right. And then I need to get back to work because I'm taking my lunch break to do this, because today work is like really stressful, and I needed a happy little brain break. So this is what we're doing on my brain break. I used to do this all the time in college, and it was very soothing. So we're gonna soothe, and then after 30 minutes, we will get back to work and I will work my little booty off. So, okay, let's do this. There we go. Good morning. We have so much to talk about. I have to keep an eye on the time. I have like maybe 8 minutes before I have to leave to go to work. And I figured like doing this in my car was a little bit easier than sitting down where I can just talk and talk and talk. So Friday I was making my plans and I started reading Throne of Glass. Now, I finished it yesterday, so it took me 3 days to read, but really I got through like 50% of it yesterday. So I did hit my like page goal, whatever you want to call it, and now I'm reading Crown of Midnights. I haven't started it, but like it's ready to go. I forgot how good Throne of Glass was. I haven't read it in like a couple years. I'm trying to like put my thoughts together. So a lot of things that happen in Crown of Midnight, I thought happened in Throne of Glass. Right now, I need to just tell you guys, there are going to be spoilers throughout. I don't really feel like putting spoiler warnings every time I want to talk about something. So please just know, like, in this series of vlogs while I'm rereading SJM, there's going to be spoilers because I need to talk about stuff, and I feel like that's... I'm sorry. Obviously, Celaena wins. I forgot how many details are sprinkled in throughout that I just, like, didn't notice the first time I read it and, like, the other rereads. Like, it's very gradual when they talk about, well, she's very clearly from Terrasen. And I liked a point where Nehemia, that's how I say her name, I'm sorry, notices her eyes and are like, those are really unique eyes. And I don't think Celaena ever reveals who she is to Nehemia. I think that is one of her regrets with her friend, because they said no more secrets between us. And obviously there are. Like, Celaena isn't alone in keeping secrets. Nehemia keeps secrets from her. It's also really funny to, like, because I read this when I was like 18 and now I'm 25. It's 7 years later after I read this for the first time. And at the time I was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Dorian's mother's trying to marry him off at age 19. Kale's only like 21. Celaena just turned 18. But okay, so I know she kills Mother Yellowlegs, I think, in that, like, traveling carnival, like, caravan something. I thought that happened in Throne of Glass, but it doesn't. It happens in Crown of Midnight, I think, because it happens at the palace, on the palace grounds. So I was kind of surprised by that. Elena really isn't helpful. I forgot that her first encounter with Elena was in a dream, and that she interacts best with her in a dream. The gates come back in, like the gates that require a lot of powerful energy or like a lot of power to open up. That's talked about. I don't think the word mark on her forehead was well described. I think we'll get that in the next book. I remember the first time I read it, I loved the love triangle thing. And now it's just like so silly to me because I'm like, Celaena, you and Dorian are like best buds. Like, you do not need anything romantic. So I used to really not like Carol. And I'm trying to like word this. I saw a TikTok video kind of explaining how Kale and Manon are very closely related characters. Not like blood or anything like that. But they both have really firm beliefs. Very firm belief systems. And they really hold tight to that and doing the right thing that is expected of them. And I love Manon. I say Manon. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look at him differently. And through that, when he killed Cain, as Cain tried to stab Celaena in the back, and I'll be saying Celaena until further notice, when he killed Cain, Cain was trying to stab Celaena in the back, like a little piece of that got broken. So like a little piece of that was like broken in that time, and it was just really interesting for me to take this perspective shift. Oh, I also heard a theory that Kaltain is a Suriel, and I don't think I'd picked up on how manipulative Duke Parrington and the king are to Kaltain in the past books. Kaltain is very manipulative, but she thinks she's winning the game that she created. Not that Parrington is playing her. And I think, if I have it correctly, Parrington is Erewhon. So I'm trying to think of like Erewhon's character, and like when the king was like, kind of like bossed him around at the end of the book, like a chapter that was revealed or a perspective that was revealed. I was like, that must have been so hard for this like all-knowing, scary, big bad guy to be bossed around by this like little human king, because over so many like encounters with the king, Celaena is just like, he's just a human. He has all this power, but he's just human. Like, you know, like he's done all these horrible things, but he's a human. And so like big, bad, powerful Erewhon in Duke Parrington's body must have been like, I roll. Like, dude, okay. Also, now knowing that the king fathered Dorian before he got possessed by whatever, is inside him. And then he had Holland. And so whatever was in him is now in Holland. I want like more info on Holland, and like, anyways, those are some of my thoughts on the book. It was so good. It was so fun to like reread it. And honestly, I forgot like how simple it felt. And a lot of like fantasy books, the first ones, especially in YA, they are simple because you don't want to, she doesn't throw out all this stuff. We only know what Selena knows in this point. And I think that character shift happens later on where Selena's like, yeah, I'm a big bad guy. Boom, boom. And she doesn't reveal her plans with anyone or anything. We haven't encountered that part of Selena yet where she is very arrogant. She is, yes, but she isn't annoying with it yet, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, so yeah, I think it's just part of her growing up. I think Crown of Midnight takes place over like a couple months. So I think Throne of Glass took place from like August through Yulemas, so like 6 months. And I think Crown of Midnight doesn't take long because if I remember correctly, in Heir of Fire, she goes there to like, well, one, get away and whatnot. But she's also like, well, it was so cold there. Or maybe it's spring and so it's like slightly chilly. And now on the other continent, it's like hot. I can't remember. Also, check out my cute sunnies. It's not sunny today, but look at them. Ooh, they are polarized because I can barely see my camera screen. What do you think? Do you like them? Well, guys, I got to go to work. I think I might have killed my car battery. I'll see y'all later, but I'm currently reading through like 50% of Crown of Midnights tonight. I don't think I'll get through it, but whatever. Also, update on the audiobooks. I am not buying the audiobooks. I'm not. So it's reading with eyeballs. You know, I will see you guys in my next check-in whenever I get to the 50% point of Crown of Midnights. Okay, I've got my coffee now. So I am on Crown of Midnight through chapter 17, and according to my sticky note that I made, part 1 of this chapter split is through chapter 23. So that's where I have my other bookmark, so that's where I'm at. Then the next one is through chapter 44, and then the third part is through the rest of the book. I guess I could kind of update y'all on today. It's a little bit of a different day. I'm having some dental work done, so I took today off of work. I'm also anticipating editing my video that's to come out on Friday. Honestly, like if I get through editing that video, I don't think it'll take me too long. I could possibly finish this book today. I don't know how many updates I could give you because I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to talk afterward. Yeah, but that is where I'm currently at. It's taken me a few days longer than I have wanted, obviously, because according to this, I'm supposed to have finished this book today. But also, I'm not stressing over it. I'd made like a really rigid schedule for reading these, and that made it not fun. It made it feel like college for me again. Just whenever I get around to posting, like when the time comes for me to post these vlogs that I've like pre-decided, I'll just post whatever I have and just kind of make it a continuous reading vlog. I'm also reading other books currently too. I probably need to get some foods and stuff that I can eat afterwards, but I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna probably just read this morning. I've checked in on work and like work doesn't need me, so I'm okay for a little bit. So I'm just gonna read and vibe and have a nice little time. It's been at least 48 hours since my surgery, and I promised to always like keep it real with y'all. I do not feel good. Today has been like a struggle bus day. I'm through chapter 23. I need to read chapter 24. Tomorrow's a very full day, but I think if I really buckle down and read, I really wish I had the audiobook for this one, because kind of what I need to do this evening for work is like write out a bunch of addresses for postcards that we're mailing out. So I might get the audiobook just so I can like read this book while doing something so boring, because I want to get to all of the, I'm calling it like betrayals. Like this is like the book of betrayal for Kale, for Selena, for Nehemia, Dorian, They all just don't trust each other, and that's leading to a betrayal of trust between them all. I forgot Archer was a big part of this book, and we actually got introduced to Lysandra in this book. Like, she hasn't come in yet, but we've heard of her at least. And Clarice, the madam, the one who's kind of like in charge of them. We got introduced to Mort. He's pretty funny, but he's like really hard on him, and I'm just like, these are all like 20-year-olds. They're like babies. Be kind. The whole prison camp situation is like really hard. We learn a little bit more about Selena's parents, which obviously, if you know, you know. We also got, like, from Dorian's perspective, Aelin, Ashiver, Galathinius, when they met as children, and Adion. That's how I say it in my head. This book is like, also it's talking more about like her past as being an assassin, and like, oh, I had this horse, oh, I trained with these people, oh, you know, blah blah blah, like all these funny like stories that you collect through your life. And for some reason Selena has like 1,000,000, which is hilarious, and she's just like, I had a horse better than that at one point, just I stole it from essentially the king there, and it was his favorite horse. Like, it's just, the anecdotes are so funny, and so I can't wait to read The Assassin's Blade for the first time and like get to see like those anecdotes come to life for the first time. So the goal for this vlog is to finish reading Crown of Midnight and read The Assassin's Blade. Yeah, so we need to get on it. It's Friday afternoon. I'm gonna go, guys. I'm just really not feeling good. I don't really feel like driving to the office to pick up stamps and postcards, but you know what? I think I'm gonna do it because that's life. That's life. So, okay, hello guys. Hello. It is Wednesday. I have been reading this book for so freaking long. Like, if you look at where you can't see it. This bottom one is where I'm at. And this is where I want to be. That's like my next break, according to that. I got through chapter 40, so I'm 311 pages in. Kale has kind of figured out about the morning song. Bless you, Franklin. Let's see, the librarian says, but I once heard that the High Court of Terrason, when the nobility died, they sang their laments in the language of the Fae. Kale's blood froze and he almost tripped, but he managed to keep walking. They're only known by nobility. So he was like, which house did she belong to? Her parents hadn't just been murdered. They were part of the nobility who had been executed by the king. She found them in their bed after they had been killed. Selena could then become a powerhouse. She must have run until she found a place where Terrason nobleman's daughter could hide, the Assassin's Keep. She learned the only skills that could keep her safe. To escape death, she became death. And then Selena learned, like, all that Nehemia was like hiding from her. So like when she took her to the tomb, Elena's tomb, like like she was just having to like pretend the whole time, like, wow, you found this? Yeah, girl, I've been here, and Elena's so tired, and like her spirit can't get here because I'm talking to her like constantly. Like, I'm curious, like I can't remember. I think Mort was just like very like mid-ground. He wasn't like, hello, welcome, and he wasn't like, Nehemia girl, good to see you again. We're also at the part where Selena, I am at the part where Selena is dealing with Mother Yellowlegs. Talks about the witches, the word keys, the word gates, and I think this is the first time in all the books word key, word gates are mentioned. Oh, and I thought it was really interesting, just to have in my mind, like when I go and I read Crescent City and all of that. Okay, Yellowlegs says, the word governs and forms the foundation of this world, not just Irelia, but all life. There are worlds that exist beyond your knowledge, worlds that lie on top of each other and don't know it. Right now, you could be standing on the bottom of someone else's ocean. The word keeps these realms apart. There are word keys that lead to Irelia. All sorts of beings have come through them over the eons. Benign things, but also the dead and foul things that creep in when the gods are looking elsewhere. So like, it kind of like really does lay out like what word is, all that type of stuff. So it is really interesting, and I am glad I'm going through and reading them. According to Bookly, I have an hour and a half left to finish this book. I guess I'm reading it like really slowly because I don't have that many pages left. I have like just over 100 pages. Like I have this much left. I'll probably finish it tonight. Honestly, I'll probably try to finish it tonight and then give my thoughts because I want this video to come out this Friday for y'all. So I'm sorry I didn't get to the Assassin's Blade and all of the like mini stories, but that's what's starting in the next vlog. So I got a lot of stuff coming up in life, so I'll see you guys later, and thank you for being patient. It is a fantastic morning because on my TikTok live reading sprints, I finished Crown of Midnight, and like I knew what happened, but like for some reason this time it hit so stinking hard. Like, I mean, I know like this is my third or fourth time rereading through the series as a whole, not just like reading up and like this was the latest book to come out or whatnot. This one just hit a little bit harder. I had remembered her telling Cale the name, like her true name. I forgot that she had actually told him the date of her parents' death and when Terrasen fell. And the eyes, Asherber eyes, the fairest eyes from legends old, the brightest blue ringed with gold. And it was Baba Yellow Legs. It was like, this one hit so hard. But this is where I'm currently ending this reading vlog because it's coming out tomorrow. And so in my next reading vlog in SJM Part 2, I will be reading The Assassin's Blade and Heir of Fire. So let me just mark where I have to read to. So I will be reading through The Assassin in the Desert, and I'll be stopping at The Assassin in the Underworld. So like right at 50% of the book. How awesome. And in this one, is this the Eye of Elena right here? I know it's supposedly not, but I loved the moment in Crown of Midnight when she hops through the portal and Cale gets to see her for the first time. And then the part where he's like about to be like, no matter what you are, assassin, fae, blah, 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 I will always. And she's like, no, no. Because it's like, he's just doing what's right. He does, I don't think he means it with his heart. Franklin, can I finish my thought? Thank you. He doesn't truly mean it in the way that he thinks he means it, like in love. He means it more in like he wants to mean it in love, but he just doesn't. And that's the way that Selena wishes he would. So I think like when she stops him and is like, whoa, whoa, no, don't even finish that sentence because like you don't understand. Well, and I think like she fully, well, and then there's that moment when she's like talking with Dorian and she's like, the courts that Nehemia wanted to come into power again, there is still a chance and I'm part of that chance and I need to live up to it. I think Nehemia fully knew who Aelin was, or who Selena was as Aelin. Surprise! Thank you guys so much for watching part 1 of my SJM reread vlog. I got through Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. It was such a good time. It took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. If you enjoyed watching this reading vlog, consider giving it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post a new bookish video for you to enjoy every Friday. For the time being, I'll get back to Tuesdays. But once again, thank you guys so much for reading, or not for reading, for watching and hanging out with me and having a cozy little time. I know it wasn't the coziest reading vlog I've ever done, but I'll always try harder on the next one. Thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Happy reading, book bestie. Bye.